ABC7 Bangor.
This is ABC7 News at Noon.
Testimony began Wednesday in the trial of a Stockton Springs mother accused of murder in the death of her 3-year-old son. Good afternoon. I'm Susan Farley. We'll have the latest coming up. Also, authorities continue to investigate the deaths of an elderly Orrington couple found dead in their home. And the federal government is stepping up efforts to help protect seniors who may fall victim to fraud. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Thursday afternoon. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Luigi and Fredericks. Across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, serving the greater Bangor area for over 65 years. Alrighty, small craft advisory was in effect. It has since been dropped as the leftovers of Ian finally starting to move away. We had some rain showers as a result of that this morning, but that's starting to taper off. Just a little bit of clouds at this point, but that will give way to a lot of sunshine just in time for the rest of the afternoon period. We'll zoom things out. Here's the leftovers of the system right here and another front off towards the east. So this is moving away. The rest of the coastline looking pretty good, but we will have opportunities for rain showers on the way very soon. Futurecast for today, a beautiful rest of the afternoon. A lot of sunshine, more clouds on the way later on tonight, but there's those rain showers on the way as we head towards parts of your day on your Friday. The winds won't be too bad, switching direction from time to time out of the north and a little bit to the south, about 5 miles per hour or less. So today, looking pretty good, but again, another system will soon be on the way. Lower 70s today will become mostly sunny and just awesome out there with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Moving ahead towards tonight, lower 50s becoming mostly cloudy with the wind overall remaining nice and calm. Moving ahead towards your Friday, upper 60s to lower 70s, mostly cloudy. Afternoon rain showers on the way. That south wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period becoming mostly sunny. Temperatures reaching for the lower 70s with a calm wind. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. Testimony began Wednesday in the trial of Jessica Williams. The Stockton Springs mother is on trial for murder in the death of her 3-year-old son.
He loved chicken nuggets. He was obsessed with Baby Shark.
3-year-old Maddox Williams died at Waldo County General Hospital on Father's Day 2021 after being brought to the hospital by his mother, Jessica Williams, and his grandmother. Prosecutors told the jury the medical examiner found Maddox had numerous injuries, including bleeding in the brain, a transection of his pancreas, a fractured spine, and internal bleeding. The medical examiner ruled Maddox died from battered child syndrome.
The injuries that he observed when he examined Maddox's body were not consistent with the version of events that this defendant gave to the staff at the hospital, or any other explanation she has offered.
The police and the Department of Health and Human Services decided that Jessica murdered Maddox. They did not look around. They did not investigate anyone other than Jessica.
The prosecution claims Williams stayed at the hospital 10 minutes after Maddox died and then went into hiding to avoid investigators.
The defendant emptied her bank account and stopped using her cell phone. You will hear her admit that she stopped using her credit or debit cards because she knew that information could be used by law enforcement to find her.
The defense paints a different picture.
The loss of a child can cause intense shock, confusion, disbelief, and great despair. Many actions of parents after the loss of a child cannot be explained. Jessica was a grieving mother who chose to be alone.
Relatives took the stand to talk about what they saw in the months leading up to Maddox's death. Testimony continues on Thursday. A Millinocket man is facing charges after police say he dropped illegal drugs in a local store. The East Millinocket Police Department says it received a call Tuesday from a store employee who reported finding a bag of white powder. Police checked the store's security footage and say they watched as 40-year-old Ryan Boyington dropped the bag. They say it also recorded him returning to the store to search for the bag. Boyington was questioned and later arrested for unlawful trafficking in scheduled drugs. They say a search of Boyington at the police station also turned up what is believed to be more suspected heroin or fentanyl. A Brewer student has been charged following an investigation conducted yesterday by the Brewer Police Department and School Department. It involved a threat which suggested that the school shooting was going to occur today. A joint investigation occurred which resulted in the identification of the student determined to be responsible. The threat was determined to be a hoax and the student was charged with terrorizing. School resumed as usual in Brewer today. The Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit North is assisting the Hancock County Sheriff's Office in a death investigation. According to the State Police spokesperson Shannon Moss, the Hancock County Sheriff's Office responded to a report of a dead body at the home on the Shore Road on Monday. The deceased was discovered by a friend who stopped by the house and then contacted the Sheriff's Office. The body was transported to the office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Augusta, where an autopsy was performed. Moss says the medical examiner's office is still working to identify the deceased. She says there is no danger to the public. Authorities are continuing to investigate the deaths of an elderly couple found Wednesday in their Orrington home. Devin Dagnold has the latest.
Law enforcement officials say Russell and Lois Swanson, both 89, were found deceased in their home at 476 Sweets Pond Road in Orrington on the morning of October 5th. Police say they responded to a call made by a family member at approximately 9 a.m. Local residents say they heard gunshots early in the morning, but police have neither confirmed nor denied a connection of the shots heard to the Swansons' death. The Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit and Evidence Response Team have both been called upon to help with the investigation. While investigating, police officials set up a roadblock and began to restrict the traffic allowed on the road around 11 a.m. No officers at the scene were available for a statement. At this time, the investigation is ongoing, but police say there is no known risk to the public. In Orrington, I'm Devin Dagnold, reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22.
2 Maine children are safe after investigators say their mother abducted them. Law enforcement is crediting an Amber Alert for their quick return. The alert has only been used a handful of times in Maine. Dan Lamparello has more on why it was used this time.
It's very fluid, it's very fast, and there's a lot of communication involved in it.
Brody Hinckley is the director of Maine's Bureau of Emergency Communications, the agency tasked with sending out Amber Alerts.
Time matters on these. We want to get these out as quick as we can, but we also want to make sure it's the most accurate information as we can.
Tuesday's alert for 2 children out of Saco was only the 4th in state history, and there's a reason for that. Amber Alerts need to meet strict criteria, which includes children being under 17, that there's a reason to believe they're in imminent danger, and there's enough information to give out to the public to assist. The decision is then made by multiple agencies on both the local and state level.
Everybody has to be on the same page as well.
Once the alert is sent using a specialized software system,
And then just like that.
the description of the child and suspect is sent statewide and possibly even further.
This one was a unique one because we knew they were out of state at that time. So we knew we had to send one out here, but we also have to request one through the out-of-state one.
In the past, we've seen alerts go directly to people's cell phones. Yep. Was there a reason that didn't happen in this case?
So we have the capabilities of doing that. It has to go through Maine Emergency Management Agency, who has to get approval from the governor's office.
The reason a cell phone alert wasn't sent this time was because it was believed the children were not here in Maine, but could certainly be used in future situations.
Do you feel like the system worked in this case?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because the person was found, within a couple hours, I believe. To get this wrapped up and get the kids safe within a couple hours after, it's phenomenal.
Coming up on ABC7 News at noon, scores of older Mainers have fallen victim to crooks who are out to steal their money. We'll hear about a new effort to keep them protected. That story and more on ABC7 News at noon.
Mainers took Jared Golden at his word, but he just broke his promise. Golden was a deciding vote for Biden's newest spending bill, even though he knew reckless spending would make inflation worse and everything more expensive. What's worse? Golden and Biden hiked taxes $1 billion on those making less than $50,000. Jared Golden, independent when convenient, liberal when it mattered. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. Winning car accident cases is what we do. Check out a few of our big wins.
I injured my torso, and they got me $195,000. What did the twos do for you?
I needed foot surgery, and they got me $215,000. What did the twos do for you?
I broke multiple bones, and Lowry & Associates got me $450,000.
Call the twos. We win for you.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do? Call 222-2222. It's another exciting year of high school football in the state of Maine. Get out and support your home team and be looking for the ABC7 Sports Blitz crew. You can get a free Sports Blitz t-shirt, then watch Sports Blitz during ABC7 News at 11 every Friday night during the football season. Blitz shirts courtesy of Coastal Auto Parts, Alpenglow Adventure Sports, Black Bear Lawn Care, Graphic Signs and Designs, Maine Collision Center, Old Town Redemption Center, Rose Bike, and Spalding's Bangor Radiator Rust Check.
When Marilyn Monroe Spas wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Life is your red carpet. Walk it like a Hollywood star with a visit to Marilyn Monroe Spas. Our hair, nail, massage, and skincare services will leave you feeling legendary.
In Maine, it's always buying season. And at Thornton Brothers in Lincoln, we carry new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Rams for your buying season. Here at Thornton Brothers, we'll help you find the right vehicle specifically for you to suit your lifestyle. As they say, the proof is in the performance. So come on over and test drive a real vehicle from a real dealership, or place your order with us and see why it really is buying season here in Maine. Thornton Brothers, Main Street, Lincoln.
When Katahdin Cruises and Moosehead Marine Museum want to know the local forecast, they log in to foxbangor.com. Take a step back in time and experience Moosehead Lake from a unique viewpoint. Book your cruise now on the Steamboat Katahdin, online or at the ticket office the day of the cruise.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
Maine Congressman Jared Golden and Senator Angus King are introducing legislation that would block federal funding for Monterey Bay Aquarium after the organization put Maine lobster on their Seafood Watch Red List, admonishing the purchase and consumption of Maine lobster. Calling the Red List designation unsubstantiated, Maine's entire delegation is co-sponsoring the bill, which was called the Red Listing Monterey Bay Aquarium Act. It would prohibit federal taxpayer funds from going to the organization, which they say has received roughly $197 million in federal taxpayer dollars since 2001. The delegation says the organization has demonstrated a lack of adherence to transparency and basic scientific methods. In a statement, Congressman Jared Golden said in part, quote, "There has never been a serious injury or death of endangered North Atlantic right whale attributed to the Maine lobster fishery, and to make recommendations or regulations in spite of that fact is a slap in the face to Maine lobstermen and their families." Senator King said, quote, "By refusing to provide any evidence supporting their harmful decision and ignoring facts that undercut their conclusion, the aquarium has made it clear that they are not a serious scientific organization and certainly not one that deserves taxpayer funding," end quote. Governor Mills has created a special advisory committee to oversee funding to help Maine farmers. The PFAS Fund Advisory Committee was created to manage the $60 million being used to assist farmers who were impacted by PFAS chemicals. Governor Mills has also named Beth Valentine as the fund's director. PFAS chemicals include thousands of varieties that were used for decades, some of which have ended up in drinking water and agricultural settings. Valentine will work closely with the committee as it implements a number of programs aimed at helping farmers impacted by contamination. The Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife will be offering multiple free workshops. Teaching attendees safe firearm handling. 2 in-person classes will be offered in August in this month at the Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine. Attendees will have the chance to take part in target shooting while learning ways to field carry, handle firearms safely, and how to shoot confidently. Topics of discussion will include choosing the right firearm for hunting various game, as well as safe storage techniques and shooting for accuracy. The workshops will be on Wednesday, October 12th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Tuesday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All firearms, ammunition, and materials will be provided. The workshops are open to anyone 12 years of age and older. Pre-registration is required, a link to which can be found at the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife Facebook page. Now, Thursday's business news. Here's Leo Jonathan.
Trade around the world is slowing down fast. The World Trade Organization predicts next year's total imports and exports will rise barely 1% compared to this year. Earlier forecasts had been much higher. Gas will be going way up soon. OPEC says it will cut oil production by 2 million barrels a day to prop up oil prices. The White House is reportedly preparing to ease sanctions on Venezuela. The Wall Street Journal says that could allow Chevron to start pumping oil again and possibly allow oil shipments to the U.S. and Europe. The S&P and NASDAQ both closed down 0.2% Wednesday. The Dow dropped 0.1%. And if you want a Ford truck, the starting price for a 2023 Ford 150 Lightning is nearly $52,000, the second price hike in a matter of months. Ford blames the historically high inflation. I'm Leo Jonathan with Thursday's Business on ABC 7.
Still ahead, there's a new effort to protect Maine seniors from fraud. We'll be right back.
We're no football players. But we do know a lot about Medicare.
So why call some out-of-state 800 number?
When help is right here at home.
Listen to what these people have to say.
My insurance kept going up and up and up and up.
I could never have navigated through the loopholes.
Gave me all my options and signed me up with what I needed within an hour.
Senior Planning Center was a lifesaver for us.
Oh, by the way,
we represent most Medicare health plans.
It's been a great summer at Dorsey Furniture, but it's time to start thinking about fall. Our new fall introductions are arriving daily and we need to make room. This means big discounts on selected items. How big? Half off. We didn't stop with just a few items. We have marked down every item in every department. Come to Dorsey Furniture during our fall clearance sale and you won't be disappointed. Dorsey Furniture, Route 1A, Holden.
Established in 1925, Bangor Floral has been a premier provider of beautiful floral arrangements and thoughtful gifts for almost 100 years. Whatever the occasion, our premium collection of colorful blooms, blossoming plants, and gift baskets have warmed hearts for generations. We strongly support the Buy Local movement, purchasing directly from local farms and growers, and we are committed to the preservation of our environment. Bangor Floral, located at 332 Harlow Street. Stop in today to experience a flower shop like no other.
Seniors know a scam when they see one, like Bruce Poliquin.
My heart is breaking for our seniors in Maine.
He says he'll help Maine seniors. But the last time Poliquin was in Congress, he voted to cut $500 billion from Medicare. And he supports raising the retirement age for Social Security. Maine seniors can trust Jared Golden. Jared stood up to both parties to protect Social Security and Medicare.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because Maine seniors earned their retirement.
Do you need to replace your windows, but worry that your project will be hard to schedule and too expensive? Then call Renewal by Andersen, the custom replacement window division of Andersen. Our windows are made with an exclusive Fibrex material that's vastly superior to vinyl and backed by the nation's best warranty. Be sure to ask about our 1-year price lock guarantee to secure a price that's good for 1 full year. Call Renewal by Andersen for your free consultation and a money-saving offer. Installation is always included.
The federal government is working to protect senior citizens from fraud. Matthew Juronsik has more.
The Justice Department has announced that they will be partnering with the U.S. Attorney's Office in protecting senior citizens from fraud schemes. This effort comes as the U.S. Attorney's Office reports that more than 475 senior Mainers were victims of fraud last year. And for Glen Burden resident Margot Martell, who almost fell victim to a fraud scheme, she says at this point, when a call comes in, she doesn't know who to trust.
You're afraid. You're afraid not to pay it. Your grandchild might go to jail, and it's really sad that people are doing this and they're preying on elderly people who can barely make it on Social Security.
To combat this ongoing problem, the Department of Justice is expanding its transnational elder fraud strike force, adding more attorneys to prosecute cases.
It's important to prosecute cases. I'm a prosecutor. That's what we do. But in a lot of these instances, we have situations where by the time that we get the case, the money is already gone.
In an effort to reduce the amount of fraud cases, the U.S. Attorney's Office also distributed videos about spotting elder fraud and grandparent scams, otherwise known as person-in-need scams. Eddington resident Robert Osgood says that senior citizens need to be better educated about these type of scams.
I recommend everybody take every step they can to make sure they're dealing with secure sites. I thought I was, and unfortunately, somebody at that particular company wasn't an honest person and took my account numbers.
And McCormick says the best way in avoiding these situations is by asking for help.
Reach out to a family member, reach out to a trusted friend, reach out to somebody from your church or from your senior center and say, this is what's going on, because when that happens, people are informed, hey, that doesn't sound right. And then suddenly people are not scammed anymore.
And if you know someone over the age of 60 that has been a victim of financial fraud, call the National Elder Hotline at 1-833-372-8311, where they will help victims on a case-by-case basis. Matthew Jaroncic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
Spending time by the water can be fun, but the CDC numbers on drowning show that everyone needs to know about water safety, not just children, adults too. With more, here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
The CDC says drownings increased in 2020 among people younger than 29 years old compared to 2019. For young adults 20 to 24, the rate increased by almost 45%, and children ages 1 to 4 had the highest rate of drowning overall. The CDC has a few suggestions to improve safety near water. First, install safety barriers and never leave children unattended around the water. Teach children about swimming and water safety practices, and wear a properly fitted life jacket regardless of your age. Lastly, it is important to know CPR, as this could save a life in a time of emergency. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jay O'Brien.
When we return, Devin Biggs will have the details on your 5-day forecast.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
I've been lobster fishing for over 25 years. These out-of-state groups that are funding Jared Golden, they're hurting us here in Maine, and Jared Golden isn't doing anything to stop them. There's the Jared Golden you see on TV, and then there's the Jared Golden that votes in Congress. He's so focused on getting elected that he's lost touch with what matters here in Maine, and we need someone to fight for us. Unless he leaves his party, there's no way Jared Golden can do anything to help Maine. I don't think Jared Golden's a bad guy, but he isn't a good congressman.
If you were hurt because of exposure to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, Congress has made it possible for you to recover a settlement. Former Marine attorney James Beardsley wants to help you.
Call now to see if you qualify. Call 222-2222.
This Veterans Day, join Fox ABC Maine as we salute and honor our veterans. Are you an active, inactive, or retired member of the armed services? Do you know someone who is? Then upload your photos on foxbangor.com/MaineHeroes. We will randomly select as many veterans as possible to win a gift card. Locally sponsored by Cat Tracks, Chase's Family Restaurant and Hideaway Lounge, Leo & Sons Auto Repair, and The Farmer's Table.
It takes all types to play Family Feud. The way too honest girl.
You just met a guy who's a perfect physical specimen. He's probably what?
Stupid. See who shows up all season on Family Feud.
On ABC7.
A first-of-its-kind training site for the Maine Army National Guard has been in the midst of construction. Emma Smith checked it out.
Accessible by logging roads, and for the media today, the Guard's newest UH-60 Blackhawk chopper. The Woodville training site is an entirely new training grounds created from wilderness, which encompasses approximately 5,500 acres and is located about 15 miles north of Lincoln.
So we're out here at the beginnings of our light demolitions range. The unit that will be primarily using this is the 251st Sapper Company out of Norway. Various types of charges they will be doing here, things like line charges, where they will be simulating a creation of an LZ for a helicopter in a quick fashion, and then emplacing and then breaching various types of obstacles, whether that's with wire log emplacements, things of that nature. We also hope that this will be a training site that can be used by various interagency partners that we have, whether that's state police, other law enforcement, bomb teams, things like that.
The development has recently received credit for construction that is focused on environmental preservation. The area encompasses over 1,000 acres of wetlands and includes critical habitats for endangered Atlantic salmon and Canada lynx.
The Maine Army National Guard did actually receive a Secretary of the Army level award for all of the effort that's being put into preserving the environment. Over 4,200 pages of various permitting that's been had to have been filled out and followed to the T to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to.
The training site opened this year with brand new live fire ranges, which are soon to be operational. And with further funding, it will be the only training site in New England which will offer unrestricted demolition training.
We have the firing points that are being constructed here as well as the tower. It'll start as a 25-meter range. We hope to eventually push out to 1,500 meters, and that will enable us to train on not just individual weapons, but also what we call crew serve weapons. So your larger 50 caliber machine guns, Mark 19 grenade launchers, things of that nature.
The Maine Army National Guard is waiting on further funding from the federal fiscal year 2023 Military Construction Appropriations Bill. This new training site will allow Army National Guard soldiers from Maine to stay closer to home during mandatory drill weekends and other necessary trainings. Otherwise, they would be traveling to Massachusetts or Vermont. The Maine Army National Guard hopes to have the site partially operational by spring of 2023. For ABC7 and Fox 22, I'm Emma Smith.
It's looking pretty nice outside. Let's take a look at your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, happy Thursday afternoon. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home of Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices, with locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. Alrighty, the small crowd advisory was dropped at about the noon time frame today, so now things are starting to look good for us as the leftovers of Ian moves away. High pressure really kept a lot of this thing away. It was trying to move farther off towards the north, but the dry air kept it from going any farther north than Bangor and areas to the south. And now the clouds are starting to get out of here too, so the rest of the day will feature a lot of sunshine as low pressure continues to move away. High pressure takes control, but this right here will be our next system moving in by tomorrow afternoon with more rain showers that will definitely be moving in. So, of course, more rainfall. We could use it. We've been in droughts, so any rainfall that we get will definitely help, but it will not help the fall foliage across the state. But otherwise, though, wave heights at around 4 to 6 feet according to some of the buoys out there. That's why we had that small crowd advisory earlier. These will start going down as that area of low pressure begins to move away. Water temperatures are in the upper 50s for now, so still looking pretty decent. Some other areas also in the 70s, but of course with temperatures falling with the season, we'll start seeing these fall as well. Average high is 62 degrees. We'll be in the lower 70s today. The upper 60s on the way for your Friday, but the middle 50s make a return Saturday, Sunday, even into your Monday and Tuesday before finally Wednesday back in the lower 60s. But your fall foliage report, though, we have a new fall update now in, and Millinocket getting close to that peak as well. It's near peak, same with Bangor, and of course Greenville at peak at this point. Ellsworth has a little bit to go, but I think they're pretty close to peak as well. So get outside, enjoy the fall foliage before the rain and any wind begins to blow those leaves away. And we typically peak about this time of the year around early to mid-October, early October to the northern parts of the state, mid-October for our neck of the woods, and we're definitely getting close to that time frame. So definitely get outside and enjoy the fall foliage that we have across the state. Futurecast moving forward, though, the rain is out of here. Lots of sunshine for the rest of the day. More clouds on the way later on tonight. Afternoon rain showers start to make their approach by around Friday afternoon, but it'll move into the western parts of the state during the morning. But another round moving in by Friday evening, and once we get that round through, the clouds will begin to move out of here and things will begin to calm down. So your forecast for the rest of today, lower 70s, mostly sunny and just awesome out there, right? With the wind overall looking nice and calm. Later on tonight, lower 50s becoming mostly cloudy with the wind overall looking nice and calm. Scott's Recreation extended forecast. More rain showers by Friday. Those will move in the afternoon with highs in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Middle 50s by Saturday with a lot of sunshine. Partly cloudy with a slight chance for rain showers Sunday with highs in the mid-50s. And mid-50s Monday with a partly cloudy sky.
Thank you, Devin. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great afternoon.
Join us every Friday this season as we celebrate the return to the gridiron with the most highlights, reaction, and analysis of your favorite team.